Assalamu alaikum, and hey everyone. There has been a lot of controversy around the concept of stunning or not stunning animals before they are slaughtered. The debate on this all important issue has been going on and on in Europe, North America, and so many other countries for quite some time now. Even among Muslim scholars and academia, people seem to have differing views on this important issue. Today, I'd like to introduce to you a special guest from the UK. His name is Mr. Masood Khawaja. He's been associated with the UK Halal industry for the last several decades. Mr. Khawaja, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmadu nasalli ala Rasul Kareem. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan al-rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is something, Brother Masood, that every Muslim has to do some da'wah and some ibla.
Yes.
And this was one of those things that, I've been here in UK for 60 years now.
60 years?
60 years, yes.
MashaAllah.
And what we found in the beginning was that we were told that we can eat from this place and that place, and this is halal and this is kosher, you can eat it, and you can do this, you can do all that. And people who came after that 60s kind of influx of Muslims in UK, they started doing a slaughtering of animal and the birds by sharing the slaughterhouses and things, where it was very difficult to understand and see that how and what was being done.
Okay.
And I think if we take it that the Quran tells us, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum washkuru lillahi in kuntum iyyahu ta'budun. And we had at the time been told, oh, do the Bismillah and eat it.
Yes.
Now here, what it is, and the reason I contacted you as well was this, that if we take the description of halal, and we have to divide that into two. One is halal, meaningly permissible, and then the way the slaughtering is done for animal and bird, which is called zabiha, sabah.
That's right.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see, I'll in the interview would also reflect on this science and technology as well. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to us, إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ وَمَا أُهِلَّ بِهِ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ. This is the procedure of slaughtering. Meaningly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indicates that you cannot do the zibha for dead. Nobody does it anyway. And the blood, flowing blood, which is called daman masuhan, has to be drained out of the body. And we should not take any other deity's name except Allah's name. Now, if we can keep these three things in mind, then we would be able to understand what it is that we have to do and what should be done, not only by Muslims in Europe, but by Muslims in Muslim countries as well.
My question is, because being a student of Islamic economy and halal in general, halal industry all over the world, I hear a lot of debate whether scanning is okay or not, permissible or not. And the same is the case in the UK. And to my understanding, there are some countries in the EU which has banned slaughtering without stunning. So do you think that maybe the Muslims need to have a debate among themselves about what should be our stance? We should have one stance. We should follow one universal standard. This is something important. So do you think that maybe it needs to be done? And of course, why you've been active in this industry for such a long period of time. So have you made some efforts to accomplish that objective?
Yes, first objective of mine was that we gathered together Muslim organizations in UK with the Mufassirin, Alameen, and imams of the mosque as well, and we wanted to make a unison kind of approach with the lawmakers.
Right.
And it did happen that they would not ban halal slaughtering in UK.
Right.
Because the dominance of the Jewish kosher system, Sakita system. So they would not hurt one side and ban for the other one, number one. Number two is this, that I'm not saying because I've got Jewish friends, no. But what I'm saying is this, that they also understand that they can't hurt the people who belong to such religions in there. In the European countries, they took advantage of people, those who came from different places, different countries, and they said, no, you can do it. Just like I mentioned to you about the gas thing. When the gas people came, gas machine people came to us, or me rather, when I was in Halal Food Authority, they said, Masood Khawaja Sahib, I mean, this is the exact system. I said, no, if you can show me that in that tunnel, that chicken is not going to die, I'll say yes to it. They said, no, we can't say that. Okay, where you have installed this machine in the non-halal system, show me what happens to the chicken. No, you've seen the film. I said, I'm sorry, no. Film does not give me what actually we're asking for.
That's true. Sure.
So we did that. But then again, what happens, Hafiz Masood, is this. Like 3 times I've been on the Ruwayat Halal committee.
Okay.
And every time it ends up like a fish market. Right? Because it doesn't actually behold me to say this, that's the occasion. What happens is this, they'll agree, 10 people will agree on the table to say, oh yes, this is fine, we can take that. Because every day in newspaper, you got full moon, half moon, this moon, or rising moon, or anything else as well. So if you don't believe in science, how come you're doing Salat Asr as 426? Where does the 26 come from? Because we came from a place where actually they used to have in a small wall, they used to place some kind of cloth on it, so that if there was no shadow, that was Zuhr. You can do that. And there was a shadow twice as much that the Waqt of Asr. And we know that when the Tulu Shams is, and we know when the Ghurub Shams is. Right? But that's not the question. The question is this, that how come you are printing it for your mosque 30 days timing for the mosque? So would it not be that tomorrow Maghrib would not be at that time you give in there because the sun says, no, I'm not going to go down yet. Yes? So this is a science, isn't it? Because you can forecast 20 years hence.
Yeah.
This is the time. I mean, and they do the forecast, they believe this forecast as well, because they carry the umbrella. Why? Because the forecast was for rain. How do you know? How do you know? It might not. Because this is what says Surah Luqman at the end. You don't know what it's going to be. So, in part of it you believe in there, part of it you're not. So because what happened is this, that in these countries like Germany and France sometime, that they have got people, again I'm not criticizing, it's entirely up to them, that what they convey to people, those who are lawmakers there, because we are not in EU anymore, in Britain, but at the same time, they have given us this particular thing. Like I said earlier, we did that a Muslim slaughterman would be working in slaughterhouse, licensed one, right? Then he would be under training by the veterinary surgeon, so that he has got a knowledge of animal welfare, right? And if there's a stunner going on there, then he'll switch on, switch off, so that he can control that as well. So we have tried that, and I have done a lot of consultations on different occasions of that, because recent one was tail docking. You know tail docking? Because they cut the tail of the lamb at the time of birth, just like the umbilical cord, or make the castration of that.
That's right.
Now, if if the science is telling us this, right, that tail docking is necessary because otherwise the maqad, at the end of it, I've seen that in Australia and New Zealand. They do it right at the birth when the lamb is born, and they just put some kind of rubbery things on there, and the rest of it falls off. Because if they don't do that, then the flies would go there, all kind of infection would happen. We know that that can be done, but at the same time, if it is reasonably done, we should be taking with cooperation. We have said in many times that in UK as well, about 80 to 90% procurers of halal meat, halal food, halal poultry are non-Muslims. Meat comes from Australia and New Zealand. Chicken comes from Thailand. Beef comes from Brazil. Are they Muslims? No. What we have become endorsers and consumers. We don't bring our own. I mean, I've seen here shops after shops, and there are, alhamdulillah, multimillionaire Muslims as well. Why don't you open a slaughterhouse, one after the other, so that we can have, the Jewish people have that. Jewish people have that. They would not do the slaughtering in any other place, but under their own ownership, in front of their own rabbis. Are we not better doing it ourselves? But we are. But we don't actually want to do it, because in the slaughterhouse, Hafiz Masood Sahib, what happens is this. You got three kind of operation going on there. One, you have to have the supplies of the chicken or the lamb and sheep, number one. Second, you have to see during the slaughter. And third thing is post-slaughter, dispatch of it, selling of it, and anything. And the Muslims, I'm sorry, you were talking about earlier, economics and anything like that. I have said to myself, I'm not going to talk about economy. I'm not going to talk about riba. No, because that is something. Muslims are the one who do not pay on time, who do not pay in full.
Yeah.
Sood is haram. Show me one person who has bought a house or who has got a deposit account has not been touched by the riba. Show me one person. One person. And this is happening in UK in the mosque. You know what's happening? Whatever money is saved there, they put in a deposit account. They do, don't they? They'll pay less to the imam. And one of the mosques I heard from, they said, Imam talked to me there. He said they're asking me to go and claim welfare on housing and things like that. Why? They said you only work 17 hours a day, 17 hours a week, because the total time of your leading salat. Right? If he is going to take benefit from the government, whose song is going to sing? You call him imam. Imam means leader, a guide, a man who does the mashwara for you, a man who leads you. Right? If that is the case,
spiritual leader of the community.
If that is the case, how come we can say to ourselves that we are best of the flock? Right? And please, once again, I have to apologize for this. I might have overstepped to what I'm saying, but not without reason. My reasoning is that even for zakat, right, where we have to give, when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our hands are like that, out. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, say something, I just put my hand in pocket and whatever change is there, I give to somebody. Yes or no? Zakat, oh, my wife had 12 bangles, and the sheikh said, there's no zakat on this at all. I said, okay, believe your sheikh, but please tell your wife, sell 2 bangles and give it to one of your own relation, because 2:177 says that Your wife does not need a 12 bangles. She's not mobile jewelry shop, right?
That's true.
And no, you know what our Sheikh said? We can buy diamonds. There's no zakat on diamonds. As Allahu Akbar. Are you cheating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this? Why is it we have to do that? We are coming from to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's Hazrat Umar radiyallahu anhu, right? He was asked once, said, how come that you gave everybody a piece of clothes and whatever it was the occasion? I don't want to go into that. He said, how come that you have made your own in full? Because he was a taller man and he was in a mosque, and he directed his son. He said, you answer the question. He says, I gave to my pa, my abati, I gave him my own. That's why he made his own. That's how he could make his own. So this is the religion we have to follow. Yeah. This is what we have to say to people. This is how it is. But wallahi, I mean, I have learned this at the very end of my life, because 80, I say alhamdulillah, summa alhamdulillah, I do not know that how much life is left me.
Nobody knows that.
My message, Hafiz Masood Sahib, is one. Mm-hmm. Try to learn, try to seek knowledge, try to see things, and please don't say to the other people that they are eating haram. No. No, please don't. Because try to provide them with halal. Mm-hmm. And just to give you another example, I was on a top table once in somebody's wedding, where the Sheikh did the nikah, right? And this is what I'm saying, that's why I don't want to talk about monetary things at all. And I was talking to him that he said, I said, if you're present here in Asr and Maghrib, so who's going to lead the prayer? He said, no, we've got another Sheikh who does that. So he did the nikah. And because he was sitting on my right side, you know, after the nikah, sometime or most of the time, people come give the qazi an envelope with some money. So I joked about it because I had heard what he said. I joked about it at the time. I said, would everybody get a packet like this? Right? Because I heard from him to say, can I give you a receipt for half? So I said abruptly to him, I said, did you do half nikah only? Because you are imam and you only have been asked to come to the nikah because of the being imam there. So this money belongs to the mosque. It's not yours. You're getting paid for your time. As an imam, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
This is where the economy of the Islamic virtue comes in. And as far as the cooperation is concerned, I have done about, in total, if I'm not mistaken, may Allah forgive me for that, over 170 consultations with the ministry here, with the Food Standard Agency here, to just give them points what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's religion, which is Islam, tells us according to Quran, according to Sunnah, according to Sharia. But according to Sharia, we can't do that as well. I've got a book of Sharia on the shelf here as well, but I can show you. It says on there, you can do the slaughtering with the sharp stone as well. No, you can't do it here because of the animal welfare, right? So the conclusion is what is logical, you do.
Right.
What is illogical, you don't do. Why it is, I mean, I'm not expanding the interview with you. I'm really concerned and saddened, and I have tears in my eyes at times when I see the Muslim countries being absolved by other people because they were not on the right track. Somebody came in the other day and said, I'm collecting for Yemen. I said, you know what you should do? Go to Riyadh. Why? Why I should go to Riyadh? I said, they should be trying to settle the issue because they are from Yemen. I said, they might not give me visa tomorrow, but to go to Umrah. But this is what it is, that those children are my children and their children. Those widows are my sisters and your sisters and their sisters. So what we got to understand is what Islam is teaching us. When we had the black gold, who did we assist in the Islamic countries? Who did we assist in Islamic countries? We didn't. We made everything just like in the Indian subcontinent, those Shahanshahs used to eat from the golden chalice and things like that. Right? We didn't. But here, although it is paid by everybody here, contributory thing, after 60 years, I'm getting free medicine. After 60 years, I'm getting free pass within the Greater London to travel. I'm going to hospital, and the test they did for me alone, I calculated the other day, because I said to you that my children and their spouses in there, I collected from that thing, how much would it cost in private? Do you know, Sheikh, how much it was? £82,000.
£82,000.
Yes, because they did four endoscopies, brain scan, they did blood tests, they did urine tests, they did all kind of other tests, they did ECGs and things like that, and they, not one, but in 4 different hospitals, 5 consultants actually sat down to consult me.
Right. That's a big number.
What happens in the country where I came from? My own brother-in-law said when he was going for open heart surgery, and he rang me up. He says, I have been asked to take 4 pints of blood. I said, what happens when they open up and they say, you need 6 pints of blood? Are they going to ask you to get up from the table and get more?
Very sad. Sir, yeah, it's very sad indeed. Sir, one last question I wanted to ask you, please. You are a organization called Halal Consultations. May I know what kind of service you're providing and who your target customers are?
Well, but you see, because I came from, as I said, I joined in 1994 Halal Food Authority, and I was there for 19 years as a CEO there as well.
Right.
And when I took retirement from there, many people said that we want you to continue. And I said, well, I'll continue on that. But the reason I put Halal Consultation on it, because I thought, as I said today as well, that it is not only in the halal, is in the food, is in the meat.
Well, I believe today we had a very informative session, and I learned a great deal from the conversation which we had. And I'm sure our viewers will also be able to have an informed opinion about this important issue after listening to this conversation. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.